Peter was like any other disciple. And Jesus looked at Peter, and there was a New Testament that was coming up. And Jesus looked at Peter and said to Peter, upon this rock I will build my church. Peter, a mortal human being, became a rock. There's an old Peter, that's true, but there's a new that had come. A new mantle has come. On Tuesday, they say the new. It actually just literally shines the lights on that which that was old before, and brings it to that place where the old cannot really function anymore. Even when you want to operate in that old, no, the new take preeminence. And I was watching this Commonwealth game just recently in Glasgow now, and you see the distinctiveness, or when the baton is given to another, distinctive, and the race continues. It doesn't disqualify the old, it's the same journey, but you see that person cannot run the whole race, so he has to give the next baton. Who is understanding? Deuteronomy 34 verse 10. He said, but since then there has not been any arisen in Israel a prophet like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face, in all the signs and wonders which the Lord sent him to do in the land of Egypt, before Pharaoh, before all his servants and all his land, and by all that mighty power and all the great terror which Moses performed in the sight of all Israel. Guess what? Joshua 1. After the death of Moses, the servant of the Lord, not because he is not a servant of the Lord, not because Moses is not good. Look at the CV of Moses. Who can beat the kind of CV? Yet the Bible says, and the Lord came to Joshua and said to Joshua the son of Nun, Moses' assistant, saying, Moses my servant is dead, now arise. A new baton was given unto him. Arise. The old is not bad, but there's a new that is calling you. The old is not cancelled, but there's a new that is calling you. If you still operate in the old when you are supposed to be in the new, there's a problem. When God called Moses 80 years in the forests, what is wrong with you? 80 years old man, in his own way, he's married, he has 2 children, he has business that he's doing. What he can better pass like that? But God was calling him in the new. God was bringing him to the new season. God was heralding into the new season. And so the signs that he was seeing, there was a burning bush, that's true. The word of the Lord was speaking, that's true. The Bible says he put his rod down, that's true. He became a serpent, he picked it up, that's true. But yet the assignment was the new. He needed to leave that place where he was. Although he has seen those signs, if he remained there, he will be living in the old. He needed to take his steps and move into the new. For God was calling him to become the mouthpiece of who he is. And when he said, when I get to Pharaoh, what will I say has sent me? Say, I am that I am. I am that I am. God was calling him into a new office. God was calling him into a new office. The Bible says, and God called Abraham out of his own kindred, Tehran, Iran, that we know today. That was where Abraham's family was. And God called him from Tehran and said, come, leave this place. I'm calling you into a new. It wasn't because Tehran was bad. There was a new. And so even when Abraham didn't understand, and they will say there was famine, and Abraham will go to Egypt and we sell his wife and say, my wife is my sister, it's okay, people can take. God will go and deal. God will take it seriously and go and meet Pharaoh and say, Pharaoh, you can't do that, you can't touch this woman. There was an assignment. The new was calling him. When he ran to Abimelech and gave his wife and said, you can take my wife, after all it's okay, so that you can spare my life. God went to Abimelech and said, you are but a dead man. Why? There's a new that was calling Abraham. Although Abraham was still living in the old, and Abraham was trying to settle in the old, and Abraham was saying, it's okay if I stay here. God is in the business of making sure that the new comes to pass.